It's a rainy Thursday morning in some parts of the capital. Good morning to you. Welcome to Thursday, the second day of October 2025. I am Noble Crosby Annan, and this is the news on Newday. Coming up this morning, Ghana aids Commission to roll out new HIV prevention program to reduce growing cases of HIV, especially amongst Ghanaian youth. Plus, Ghanaian citizen Daniel Mafu Oforiatta petitions President Mahama to remove Supreme Court Judge Yoni Kulendi for improper interference in the trial of Dr. Atofosing. Also coming up, Tertiary Education Workers Union staff expected to resume work after suspending their indefinite strike. Welcome to the broadcast. We're live also on all our social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. Let's get interactive there, but let's start the bulletin from here. President John Dramani Mahama has revealed that the visa ban reversal by the United States government was in the best interest of Ghana and has no financial considerations to it. Well, given the firm assurance that Ghana will not be a dumping ground for deportees with criminal backgrounds, the president says Ghana's acceptance of the deportees will not compromise its sovereignty, security and stability.
Since July, Ghana came under intense scrutiny following a visa banning position from the United States. Negotiations followed thereafter at high levels, including bilaterals at the recently ended United Nations General Assembly.
Let me state clearly that this outcome was negotiated in Ghana's best interest. And one of the key points in our negotiation with the U.S. authorities was our agreement to address the issue of overstayers who travel on student visas and others who travel as part of official government delegations. I mean, these are people who go and instead of coming back, they decide to stay. And so they have the record. So when they draw the threshold and you're above it, then they cancel your 5-year visas and bring you to B5, B3.
The lifting of the ban has got many talking, with conspiracy theories also being suggested. Speaking of the swearing-in of new envoys, the president laid bare the conditions that assured the U.S. of lifting the ban.
There was no financial consideration as part of the understanding between Ghana and the United States. I also wish to inform you that negotiations are ongoing. Tariffs of 15% and the renewal of AGOA, which was a 0% tariff on African nations. And so those negotiations are still ongoing. Ghana will not, and I repeat, will not become a dumping ground for deportees, nor will we accept individuals with criminal backgrounds. Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
The president commissioned them with the oath of office, instrument and secrecy, a charge for them to be economic ambassadors as Ghana's diplomatic stance remain non-aligned. For Ghana's ambassador to South Africa, Benjamin Kwashi, there exist opportunities for growth.
We read thoroughly the KPIs that we've been given. It gives us cleared out regulations as to how we'll bring in these foreign investors. And I think that that is what we are going to do to ensure that we help in ensuring that our economy grows and then there's jobs and opportunities for everybody. I know a lot of companies in South Africa that came here, but they've started folding up. Some have left. Some have indicated that their conditions then was not favorable to them. I think the condition now that we have today, fortunately for us, inflation is at a single digit. And I think that is a part in the back of the NDC administration. And we are going to harness this. We're going to ensure that we stand on this to be able to build that economic diplomacy that we've all been asked to build.
You look at the proximity and look at what we can benefit. Even if they say we should exhibit goods, who can do it best between Ghana and Togo? I think even before Benin. So we have all those plans.
As the government nears 8 months in office, work starts immediately for the envoys. Komla Kluche, TV3 News, Jubilee House, Accra.
And barely 24 hours after petitioning the Criminal Investigations Department to investigate Justice Yoni Kulendi and Richard Jakpa over alleged interference of administration of Justice Daniel Mafu Oforiatta, a Chibi indigene has escalated the matter to the presidency. This time, he's asking President Mahama to remove Justice Kulendi as a Supreme Court judge, accusing him of improper interference with a trial involving Dr. Kassel Atoforsin and 2 others. Lord Duasari has more here.
The war of petitions began with businessman Richard Jakpa, who was the second accused in the ambulance trial. Together with Dr. Kassel Atoforsin and Sylvester Animana, they were facing charges of causing financial loss to the state. In July, Richard Jakpa petitioned the CID to investigate the former Attorney General Godfrey Yeboah-Dame, accusing the latter of soliciting his cooperation to testify in a manner which would incriminate Dr. Kassel Atoforsin, the first accused. He attached WhatsApp conversations between the two of them as evidence to make his case. Few months on, private citizen Daniel Mafo Oforiatta also petitioned the CID to investigate Justice Yoni Kolendi and Richard Jakpa over allegations of interfering with administration of justice. The petitioner alleged that Richard Jakpa, with the help of his cousin, Justice Kolendi, sought to obstruct justice by pressuring Godfrey Dame to discontinue the prosecution against the businessman. Oforiatta further alleged that upon failing to do so, Richard Jakpa went on a spree seeking to tarnish the image of the former Attorney General. In a petition dated September 30 addressed to President Mahama, Daniel Mafo Oforiatta outlined 4 grounds for removal against Justice Yoni Kolendi, including alleged ethical violations. He attached the cross-examination of Richard Jakpa by the Attorney General in the ambulance trial, WhatsApp conversations between Richard Jakpa and the former AG, the High Court ruling, as well as other court documents to buttress his point. It remains to be seen if the President will act on the petition by Daniel Mafo Oforiatta. Lord Duasari, TV3 News, Accra.
Well, still on legal affairs, former Attorney General and Minister for Justice Godfrey Yeboah-Dame is urging the General Legal Council to dismiss a complaint filed by private citizen Daniel Ofosu Appiah stating breach of practice and procedural rules of the disciplinary committee. Now, Daniel Ofosu Appiah, a private citizen in May 2025, reported the former Attorney General to the committee of the General Legal Council over the conduct of Godfrey Yeboah-Dame in the handling of the Republic versus Atoforsin and 2 others. According to Godfrey Dame, the complaint circulated the content of his complaint in the mass media the same day that he submitted it to the committee, adding that it connotes political undertones and questions his motive. The former Attorney General added that Daniel Ofosu is not connected to the matters cited in his complaints, hence does not result in any injury to him. He further stated that he carried out his duty as the Attorney General and as such cannot be accused of professional misconduct when he didn't do so in his personal capacity. And now the acting Chief Justice Paul Bafaboni has admonished judges to fiercely guard against external pressures from every quarter, including political, social or commercial, in order to maintain the integrity of the judiciary. He was speaking at the conference of the Association of Judges and Magistrates in Accra. Bring you that story in a subsequent bulletin, but in the meantime, the Ghana AIDS Commission says plans are advanced to roll out a new HIV prevention program that incorporates pre-exposure prophylaxis and post-exposure prophylaxis as key components HIV prevention program by 2027. This initiative aims to reduce the spread of HIV among young adults between 15 and 24 years old, who account for approximately 30 to 31% of new infections. Director General of the Commission, Dr. Prosper Akambong, on the sidelines of the launch of the National HIV Response Sustainability Roadmap Part A, noted that the drug, which is expected to be produced by local pharmaceutical companies, will strengthen prevention efforts as well as support local capacity.
The new HIV prevention framework, which has what we call pre-exposure prophylaxis, what you call the vaccine. The pre-exposure prophylaxis, before you get infection, what can you do to prevent infection? And then also post-exposure prophylaxis. After you have made a mistake and got in contact with somebody who may likely have HIV, what can you do to prevent you from getting it? This is being done in a new framework. Key to that new framework is that vaccine thing you are talking about. It's actually a medication, lenacapavir, and which we have already put an application as a country to put it as main component of our HIV prevention program, particularly looking at adolescent young girls and boys and young men and women program, where we are seeing about 31% of new infections occurring there. And these are people between the ages of 15 to 24 years. If we target that program, we can reduce significantly infections in that age category. And therefore, it can then be rolled out as a national program as part of the prevention activities. We would secure it from outside. But as you saw, the corporate organizations that are here, the pharmaceutical industries here, they have positioned themselves to be able to produce that vaccine locally. And in discussions with the pharmaceutical industry, together with GIZ, we are on track that somewhere between the latter of 2026, 2027, early part of 2027, we should be able to produce that medications in Ghana.
To education now, as the Teachers and Educational Workers Union has suspended its nationwide strike. This decision follows a firm commitment from the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission to address the union's concerns.
Members of the Teachers and Education Workers Union, TEU, has called off their nationwide strike after 2 weeks of industrial action. The union had been demanding that the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission begin negotiations on their conditions of service, particularly the payment of outstanding allowances. Following a crucial negotiation meeting, the Commission gave strong assurances that the issues would be addressed. At a news conference held in Accra, TEU General Secretary King James Azotiba announced the union's decision to suspend the strike.
As a result of the positive development, TEU has decided to suspend the indefinite strike action with effect from today, Wednesday, the 1st of October 2025, to allow for further discussions and implementation of the agreed terms. All TEU members in the aforementioned institutions are expected to resume work by Thursday, the 2nd of October 2025.
He has directed all TEU members across the country to resume work on Thursday, October 2. But the union is cautioning that this is only a temporary pause. TEU has warned that any delay in finalizing negotiations by next week could disrupt the current calm in the education sector.
October 2025, that's next week, Tuesday, we are beginning the negotiations on the Ghana Education Service conditions of service. And hopefully, we should be able to conclude on Tuesday. And then we'll do the rest on the public universities on maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we'll do the Museums and Monuments Board. And then Friday, we should be able to finish the Ghana Library Authority.
Well, away from that, the chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee, Abna Osei-Asare, has expressed concern that not enough is being done to safeguard the public purse. Speaking at the close of the committee's sitting, she emphasized the need for stricter enforcement of sanctions to curb the financial infractions highlighted in the Auditor General's report. Speaking to the media at the end of the sitting, chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee, Abna Osei-Asare, noted the committee sittings have revealed a worrying trend. Many public institutions continue to ignore recommendations from auditors during financial reviews.
When the auditors get to the sites where the agencies or the ministry or department that they go to audit, they don't give them the maximum attention and support that they need. Otherwise, why would you have a situation where the auditors come to the site, they ask for documentation in respect of a particular transaction, they are not able to provide, and then later they tell the auditors, we have them. Once they are cited in the Auditor General's report, they come with those documents. So I believe that the people who attend to the auditors when they come to the site, we should sensitize them that it pays to give the maximum attention that the auditors need.
According to her, applying sanctions consistently will serve as a deterrent and help reduce the recurrence of such irregularities.
We saw a lot of infractions in relation to entities using internally generated funds without approval from the Ministry of Finance. So then you see recommendations like write to Ministry of Finance through your ministry for approval, write to Ministry of Finance for approval on this and that. And one thing is also clear, it is because we are not applying the sanctions. If we apply the sanctions to these infractions that the ministries, departments, and other agencies are cited for, it will go a long way to reduce.
While acknowledging the committee's contribution, including the recovery of some 12.9 billion cedis, she insisted that more effort is needed to ensure accountability and financial discipline across public institutions.
What we are doing is yielding positive results. We have a report which we would look at per the work of the Public Accounts Committee and the support of the Auditor General. We have been able to retrieve about 12.9 billion Ghana cedis. And there's a whole report on that. We are making impact, but we can do better than what we are doing now.
The committee has meanwhile rescheduled its engagement with the Ministries of Transport, Food and Agriculture, as well as the Attorney General's Department, after the substantive ministers and deputy ministers failed to appear before the committee. And now, the Minister in charge of Government Communications, Felix Kwashifosu, says the government will continue to support public relations practitioners in government ministries, departments and agencies. He was speaking at the 2025 PR Knowledge Sharing Conference in Accra.
Speaking at the event, President of IPR, Esther Koba, underscored the importance of communication.
In a world where we need so much to communicate better with each other, deepen understanding of each other, and thus make the world a better place for ourselves and for each other. We are gathered here to share knowledge among ourselves, to share knowledge between countries, across continents, so that we can become better.
The Minister for Government Communications highlighted the central role of communication in mobilizing the citizenry for development.
Government communication, when done well, plays a crucial role in this effort. It provides clarity in the midst of change, builds trust between leaders and citizens, and creates the space for dialogue rather than division. In my recent engagement with public relations officers in Ghana's ministries, departments and agencies, I challenge them to embody efficiency and professionalism, for the responsibility of telling government story increasingly rests on their shoulders. And I assure them, as I assure you here, that government will continue to support practitioners so they can discharge their duties without fear or undue interference.
Some students engaged in a panel discussion to discuss the role of artificial intelligence. Director and Global Head of Trust and Safety at Wikimedia Foundation, Jan Eisfeld, also stressed on the vital role communications professionals have.
Communications professionals have a vital role in making African contexts and African problems and African solutions, most importantly, actually visible to the training of these foreign models. Because if there is good communications material out there, be that in an academic context or in a communications context and professional sphere, that can be accessed, it can be put into the training data set and therefore becomes part of what those models learn.
Well, that's it for the news on Newday, but there's always more news on our website, 3news.com. Please log on at any time. I am Noble Crosby, and Newday continues after this. Stay safe. Good morning.
P Square. Play the song. Play the song again.
I don't care who you are, where you're from, or what you do, just as long as you...
Keep the song. Charlie, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us wherever you're watching us from. Like I said, Prince Nani or York, you live in the UK, visiting Ghana. I know that your time for going back is very soon. Try and let's have some breakfast or lunch one of these days, and then we'll have some great time. But we also have cash out. You go to a shop called *439# as many times as you can. Increase the number of tickets that you are going to get. So you're going to get a prompt. When you dial *439#, 1,000 Ghana cedis going to 10 people this morning. So we have a number of bonuses. Usually 200 Ghana cedis, 300 Ghana cedis, 400 going to a number of lucky winners who usually we don't tend to announce. And as always, please make sure that, as always, you're part of this. So *439#. Let me say good morning to KB of the radio entertainment platform, and through the instrumentality of what they have in the collaboration, radio entertainment, the National Electricity Authority, they're able to bring us every day TV3 Newday, *439#, cash out as always. And you know, it's still the month of October. We began the celebration yesterday. I watched the video just early this morning, and everybody was in black and well scripted, as well as branded attires, marking 28 years of TV3's first transmission. You know, 1997, 1st October. We're still celebrating, and then also, and so big cake. Yesterday I was supposed to have been here, Charlie. Just an emergency took me away. Because I was all branded, Charlie. Yesterday I was all branded, 28 years, everything, Charlie. I wanted to do the celebration, but I missed the cake, man. I missed the cake. And again, for all those who started this great platform, big television station, now turned into a media group, Media General, as we have it. We have to say that again, all the hard work has been worth it, whether it's Ahmad Ade, who did the first news, Gideon Aikweya, they've been Emma Morrison, we've had a number of them as well who passed through. A number, for example, one of the deputy governors of the Bank of Ghana, Matilda Asante, has had some sojourn right here as well. Pakwesi also still there. We have a number of them. Israel Lai, and we still have some great people who are taking on the mantle. Beatrice Edu, you know, the current generation, Joseph Akable, Godwin Asediba, you know, has been winning back-to-back. Portia Solomon, Sarah Pencrow, everybody else just making sure that they also contribute. OTAJ has been here as long as Iso Pele. We had briefly also Van Vika also coming in as well, and a lot of people, you know. So 28 years of this big platform. Yeah, and everybody has, and it's great association. I have to say that the talent that have been churned out through reality shows like Mentor, Ghana's Most Beautiful, Talented Kids. There was one time Johnny Hughes featured on one. Is it Celebrations or so? I remember he came with his group as well. But you know, great people have tend to grace the various platforms. Now we have some great people. We have Pakwesi currently as well, is with Connect FM as well. And then also we have many of them who have also contributed. 3FM, we have Helen. When it comes to mid-morning, Giovanni with the reality show. You know, it's countless. You know, news, current affairs, reality, lifestyle, entertainment. And you know, we have to pay homage to all those who started the great management. We had those great management people from Malaysia. That's TV3 Malaysia as well, who collaborated with their Ghanaian counterparts right here. We have Mr. Apenting as well. There's Kofi Nyantichi Mr. Nyantichi. Mr. Nyantichi is one of those great people where I can remember. Augustine Dixon, and when it came to producing some of the best documentaries, we had Mr. Adanu. Mr. Adanu, one of the best producers that you can ever work with. Sometimes the names just. And then also another great media station. It's news outlets, by the way, newspaper, even though the industry is having some challenges across the world. 75 years, great history, a storehouse of knowledge of Ghana across the world. The Graphic Communications Group, their first publication was 75 years ago, and so they are 75 years today. Again, kudos to the generation that started and the current one. So the Daily Graphic is 75 years, but now the Graphic Communications Group, and so great celebrations. And I saw everybody celebrate. Yesterday, a great friend of mine, he is with a Get Connected team. He celebrated his birthday, Guy G. Guy G, you celebrate. He's called Prince J, by the way. Prince J, that's his real name. But Guy G, Cantonment Accra, is with the Kennedy Japan team. And we have to also thank everybody who tend to give us great content as well. The political leaders over the period. I've had some great interactions. Jerry Rawlings, John Ejekom Kufuor, the president at the time. We've had Kwabene J. Japan, who was press secretary, very good one at that. Is it Kokwani Doho, also great one. Hannah Tete as well. Jacob Echepi Lamte was also, and then Obushi Sai Kofi. Obushi Sai Kofi also, one time, Minister for Information as well, also great. Now we have the current crop, whether it's Malik, Eduji Tamaklo, or everybody else who comes here, we say that we're all grateful. We tend to have great relationship with everybody else, and it helps. And, sometimes when the tide turns, the public opinion is turning, and there are scandals and some of the things like that. We try our best, but, we just have to remain on the balance of the scale, truth to power, etc. Robert Coleman, Charlie, great friend of mine, Robert Coleman of the Wembley Sports Construction Company Limited as well. Dr. Sianwe Japan has been a great mentor as well. And now I have Godwin Tamaklo, Group Chief Executive for the RAIDS Group as well as I have Prosper Lechu as well of Smart Shipping Company Limited and all of them. And then with Maripoma, Alhaji Ali Seidu, great man as well, wishing you all the best for the day. And some of the great young Chief Executive. Charlie, I'm just, how are you? You're so in red, right? Because of the TV3 colors and white.
Yes.
You're looking elegant. This one is by Joy Daddy.
Same.
Sorry.
Joy.
It's not mischief, sorry.
Eddie
It's a Joy what?
Eddie Joy Closet.
Lady Joy.
Underscore Closet, yes. Oh, but you've done an amazing job. I mean, with all the list of...
Yeah, the names,
wow.
They're just the few I could remember.
But that's even amazing, really.
Yeah. There's one person also who always used to be on Hot Issues, and he used to be hosted by one of my famous bosses.
Okay.
He was a very difficult manager. He's called Emmanuel Osebwachi. He usually likes to be called Osebwachi, Obi.
Yeah.
He's now a legal practitioner, so lawyer Obi Osebwachi, wherever you are, good morning to you. Robert Shre, and then another difficult boss I had was Gabriel Bosompim. And there's a gentleman who is with the NDC now, Dr. James Asante. He's a lecturer also with the UPSC as well, had been a communication director for the NDC. Great. Mr. Ralph Sase, they started the news as well. We've had some great people. Yusuf Nkabo, and then Mr. Saki, I have forgotten his first name as well. Matilda Haynes, Gifty Osebwache, who is now Gifty, he's still got Bingley, so he's called Gifty Osebwache as well. Some great people. And then, of course, I work with Beatrice Ajimai, the current chief executive. Great people. Boache Glover passed through. And Kafui, there's Kafui, I don't know who can remember. Kafui Nyaku, okay. And then also Miss G, you know Miss G?
Yeah,
Miss G also passed through,
I'm aware.
Yeah, Miss G. And we've had some great people.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. I mean,
I've always loved the talented shows. You know that when I was young, the best thing I loved was going to the MTN 1,000 Laughs for free. I always went for free.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the music awards.
Yeah.
I was always going for free.
Why were you going for?
Yeah, because
you always
know,
had tickets?
yeah, tickets.
Oh wow!
And I'll go and sit there
Very
alone.
connected.
No girlfriend, then I'll sit there alone. You know, but it was fun. So, there's one person who always used to come to Hot Issues. President Rawlings' chief of staff.
Yeah.
He's called Nana Todati. Apparently, Ediji just sent me. He's celebrating 50 years at the bar. And we know another person celebrating 50 years being called to the bar is Chachi Chikata as well. So some great prominent people who used to talk to us.
Brains, you know?
Yeah. And TV3 has spoken to every one of them. Kofi Annan, there's Nene, this one, Nene Drolo. That's Nene Drolo as well.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have to say Mali Hedo, great. And then we used to have here the late
Miles
Monroe, always come in here.
Very wise guy.
Will come and give us motivational talks.
Yeah.
You know all those books that they write? That when you do the thing, the only thing they don't tell you is that you have to be corrupt in Ghana before you make it. You know, that all those books are hogwash. Usually, they have to tell you that you need to have street corruption sense. You know, that's the only thing that. And then one of the best people that I spoke to was Imano Dare to me. His books. Ken Oforiatta used to write great books as well back in the day. I mean, before all of you said he was a bad guy. I mean, he was with data, but yeah, all of us said he was a bad guy. He used to write some great books about savings and, you know, at the turn of the millennium. They didn't tell us that they were going to make the CD devalued. And so it was, whether you saved
that's another conversation.
1 million or so, it was no money at all.
The infamous DDEP, right? Yes.
So I never read motivational books again.
Yeah.
You pick the sense from the street. Anyway, Charlie, you look good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you look massive. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
28 years.
Yes.
And thank you for being part of the history as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great guy.
I mean, yesterday I was watching some clips of you, though.
Me?
Doing 360. And I was like,
There's a particular incident when I think that day I was going to the clinic or going to Cape Coast.
Yes.
And then I was at Circle. I got to Kwame Nkrumah Circle and they called me that Atta Mills had died. So I came in, then I had to strap the black Charlie.
I remember exactly where
and
I
I
was
remember
when that incident happened.
Babina Finn Walker was the director that morning.
Okay.
That afternoon, it was an afternoon.
Yes.
So I was called around 11.
Yeah.
And we started the broadcast before 12. And the late Atta Mills. It was very sorrowful.
I remember. I was in the newsroom there.
And because a colleague of mine who is now the chief executive for the National Theatre, that's Henry Herbert Mum.
Yes.
Used to be his reporter, like the way Komla reports for.
Oh, then
so he was
must have been
reporting
massively impacted.
So we used to encounter him at Cuckoo Hills. There was Koku and Yidoho. There was Nilanti van der Poy. Then there's Ludwig Hnoje, who was also there. Then this man is now a high commissioner.
Victor Smith?
No, there was Victor Smith around there as well. There was one more person, a very tall man. He became Kumasi mayor. I think he's now something Bonsu, Kojo Bonsu. They were always at Cuckoo Hills. Cuckoo Hills, and Charlie. It were great times over the years as well. Okay, so welcome. Agenda woman.
Thank you.
And what do we have for today?
Yeah, so today on Big Issues, of course, we'll be discussing what came out yesterday, the fact that the feeding fee for prisoners has increased from 1 cedi, 80 pesos, to now 5 cedis. But we're going beyond the fees and looking at the reforms that are needed. And what we talked about 3 days ago, about that abuse of the young lady by the assistant headmaster who has now been dismissed. And we've had a number of prominent people going or actually talking about the matter. And, well, sexual harassment, misconduct, just to be specific. Yes, so we'll be looking into that and really moving forward what we need to do to ensure that our children are protected in schools. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
that's an affront to the law.
The vice president has already
it's not just an abuse, it's
about
an affront to the law.
Yes,
you know.
yeah. So,
whether there was consent or not consent.
Yeah.
Under 16. But
so we'll be looking into that.
And I don't know whether we can extend that conversation to the fact that there are many bosses or people, whether men or women, but mainly men, who take advantage of young ladies as well. and force themselves on them and things and do things. So,
I mean,
so
sometimes you hear the kind of stories you hear, quite sad. Those who want to do internship and what they have to go through, sometimes national service, you don't even know whether you'll be taking after you're done.
Yeah,
and
some of them, they lie to you that they'll give you the position.
So, well, let's see what we get.
All right. So we have a number of conversations with big issues as well. And so do you know some of your guests will be coming in quickly as possible?
Yes, we'll have Nanaya Ajantwa join us.
Well, Nanaya will be coming today. Today will be exciting. Nanaya Ajantwa, it's been a while I've seen her.
Yeah, we'll have Mad Mayana as well joining us. And of course, other experts as well, because of what we are discussing.
Yeah.
So that they're able to bring their expertise to bear on...
I don't know. The Lady Joy person just does you well. Charlie, give her the close-up. What? She just looks so good.
Thank you, Roland.
Fantastic. One person also who looked good yesterday was a lady called Esther Wowi. You graduated from the UPSA, and so congratulations to you, Esther Wowi. Wishing you all the best for your days ahead. You know, adulthood is a scam, as they say, but you always have to persevere and you'll be successful. And it's also coming from your auntie Joy as well, and all of us, we love you. So wishing you all the best for the day, Esther Wowi.
Welcome to the job market, perhaps beginning of the job market.
She'll be fine.
Yeah.
She should just listen to Alpha Hour and then the one they listen in the morning now. What God cannot do, that song is that one. Jerry Eze, streams of NSPD, NSPPD. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right. You'll get your hope up. All right. So our question of the day.
Yeah. So I mean, of course.
All right, so maybe we can also, yesterday, you know, Sam George had been trending with his issues with DSTV and some of those.
Yes.
Maybe we can ask her, because many people watch us on DSTV as well. And so I don't know what they make of that controversy between Sam George and all that. I mean, I've loved Sam George for compelling the telephony service providers to
increase our data packages.
Yeah. So I buy the Optimo and I use it.
Yeah, but this is massive. I mean, a lot of people are talking about this.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you make of Sam George and the DSTV issue? We can use that for a question of the day if it's allowed. Is it allowed, my bosses? Okay, so my bosses say it's allowed.
Yes.
So what the management bosses say it's allowed, so we'll go ahead with that. So whether you're watching us from the Upper East or you're watching us from the MPA office, the chief executive of that's the distinguished lawyer Godwin Eduji Tamaklo, please make sure that you call us. Let us know what you make of the controversy.
But he already sent you a message.
Yeah, I know Eduji will not call on his friend and colleague. All of us are friends. I'm George, so no problem. But what do you make of the controversy? But you know, the new packages that have been introduced, and what do you think could have been done better, etc. And so stick and stay right here. This morning's segment is up.
I know that sounds familiar, right? The message today is simple. The government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is on your side, and MultiChoice is a responsible business operating in Ghana. All businesses operate in a certain economic environment, and that's why they engage governments from time to time when they need intervention from government, and DSTV has need of policy need from government. They've brought their needs and requests to government, and government will consider the steps we need to take to protect their investment. In the same vein, government would also be able to go to them and say, this is the need of our citizens. And that's where we've got into. You, George, or you have a conversation and you reach an agreement.
So you just watched that the Communications Minister Sam George at that press conference where he said that Ghanaians should be hopeful because he was going to get a good deal for us, and a committee was subsequently set up involving his his representatives as well as that of DSTV. We've had the deadlines extended and all of that, and now people do not seem to get the hope that indeed the minister has been able to get us a deal. There's some clarification also coming from DSTV. I'm sure you've been able to follow all of that, and let us know what you think, whether or not really the minister hasn't delivered what he said he would, and whether you even have hopes that you will get some package. Originally, there was that promise of the 30% discount, but let me perhaps read to you, in case you haven't seen this, that media statement coming from the multi-choice, which was released just yesterday, talking about clarifications on DSTV value offering. It says, following the recent joint press conference with the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations, the National Communications Authority, Multi-Choice Africa and Multi-Choice Ghana, we wish to clarify the facts published on our website, which created an erroneous impression of a contradiction regarding the DSTV value offering, which is effective today, October 1 or 1st of October 2025. We would like to clarify as follows. 1, we fully support the joint media statement that was issued by the Honourable Minister, Honourable Samuel Nate George, and implementation of same has already commenced. 2, as contained in the said joint media statement regarding the value offering, the committee will reconvene in 3 months to evaluate the impact of this initiative. This will be a periodic exercise. 3, there is no restriction on a subscriber's choice of a bouquet. This offer is available to both existing, returning, and new customers from the 1st of October. We apologize for any inconvenience the facts may have caused. Signed by Multi-Choice. I'll get your thoughts, Roland, on whether or not you get the details of you got the details of what Sir George promised us earlier. But let's go to Alhaji. Good morning to you, Alhaji. Thank you so much for joining us under this morning segment on New Day. Tell us where you're calling from and what you're thinking.
Beatrice, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Good morning. I hope you're well as well. You slept well?
We thank God. Roland, that's what.
Nah. Gombian.
So I did not see so Dima Lamlia Aran Kanabo. Let me send my wisdom to Shamima Muslim. He has done Alaji Alafan and Chief of Staff, one of his years. There was a chairman of Koso Arm of National Chairman, a former National Chairman for NDC, and entirely Dr. Abukaro Wumbi. Roland, do you know something? A like communication minister disappointing us. Because you seem to do so. We are disagree with him. You said price will reduce. So even if they can increase the station or whatever, they need to reduce the price. They need to reduce the price. Why they don't want to reduce? If they can reduce, they should ask them for discount. Because people have problem with the prices. Not about the station, and we have the program. So you can add even 155 or 1,000 stations. We don't care about that 1,000 stations. They should reduce it. They need to enforce the law and they reduce the prices. So if we come and applaud for that to go for what reason? We need to reason before we do our things. When they charge them, and they fail to pay that charges into the country, and now they just come out with the issue the different treatment. So that cannot help us. Let's keep on tell them they should reduce the price. And communication director, I hope he listen to us. Then they listen to lawyer Edoji Tamaklo from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Alhaji, for calling in.
Lawyer Edoji Tamaklo, please, Alhaji Bone Yerebe Shale of Savelugu says that good morning to you. Edoji. The day he comes back, I'll bring him to your office.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes. So, yes, I mean, the opinion expressed seems to line up with really what a lot of people are asking for. Don't talk to us about packages and all of that. Just reduce the cost of DSTV as promised earlier, and let's move forward with it. So, well, let's see what happens, even as the statement indicates that there's going to be that 3-month window. But let's speak to George. Good morning to you, George. Thank you so much for joining us on New Day this morning. Tell us where you're calling from and what's on your mind.
Okay, good morning and good morning to your listeners.
Good morning, sir.
I don't know why people are finding it difficult to understand. And it's rather unfortunate that journalists are the ones perpetrating these lies. It's a simple matter. Pay what you were paying previously and enjoy higher package. It's just as reducing the price of the higher packages. So if you are paying for compact for 380, now pay the same thing and enjoy something higher. It's simple mathematics. I don't know why people are finding this difficult to understand. So in technical terms, prices of the higher packages have been reduced, even the smaller ones. So I can pay family and now enjoy compact. It's the same thing. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, George, for sharing that with us. Yes. I don't know whether you've received some messages that you want to share.
I have a couple of messages, and I think that they're very instructive, particularly when they relate to, there seem to be a misunderstanding of what the communications minister seemed to be communicating.
Indeed.
Then also, on the other hand, the company DSTV as well, or the multi-choice or whatever, because they've now been taken over by Canoplo. And this one is coming from Uncle Charles Thompson. Charles Thompson lives in the UK as well. Says that Roland and Beatrice, honestly, I don't think there is an issue between St. George and DSTV. If you read in between the lines, their statements clearly state it will be reviewed periodically. What people fail to realize is that DSTV as a service provider, a private entity. And so continue on and on. Kinotopa says that I left out the technical team. I mentioned Augustine Disson, but I've had some great people. There's Richard Amankwa, Mr. Kwashi, one of our lead technical people, drivers, etc. Mr. Fum and all of them as well. So we've had a number of people as well. This one is coming from Sherry Giovanni, who says, okay, take this call and then
yes. So let's go to another Alhaji who joins us. Good morning to you, Alhaji. Tell us where you're calling us from and what you're thinking.
Good morning, B and Paparo. I hope you people are doing well.
Well.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you. I'm Alhaji Abu from Kumasi. You see, my worry is the opposition criticizing the minister. I mean, in the first place, you people were in power for 8 good years, and we're paying all these high costs. Somebody has come, at least, he has initiated something that will cushion our package. And you are there criticizing. What kind of opposition? They will remain in opposition for the next 20 years. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
He's done. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Alhaji, for calling in.
Okay, so this one is coming from Sherry Giovanni. Good morning to you. He says that I love St. George as a personality and a minister for his determination and intent to get the best for Ghanaians when it comes to the service provided by companies. But I also think he should be a bit patient and diplomatic. There's an insert going around. I listened to his engagement with Ivan Spencer, and some of his questions were asked, but he only told GS to do more about English language comprehension because the host can't understand him. I'm not too sure that was the understanding all of us got, though. But I know that social media gets clippings, and then also sometimes hosts, we also try to ask questions. And I think we need proper clarification, you say, and we'll put that into action. This one is coming from Ralph. I don't know whether it's Nene Upio, Ode Upio. Okay, Ralph, good morning to you. He says, I'm not enthused at all about the deal between some George and DSTV. It's not some George and DSTV. It's, okay. Look, what they have done is a promo thing. You see, even with the current package, there are some of the channels people don't watch. So increasing the packages is cost 90. Hey, let them reduce the prices simpliciter. Please watch us on DSTV always. TV3.
Let's go to Adenta. We have another caller from there. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for calling us. Tell us what's on your mind today.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Namo Fela. I'm calling from Adenta.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yes, to me, the press conference by the minister is needless. Every subscriber listening to me will know that DSTV has been running promotions at time to time. They give us this offers, pay for this package, and then you'll be upgraded to the next one. So this one is not news. So some judge coming to organize press conference to announce this is needless. Every DSTV subscriber knows that time to time they give us this offers. So with what Ghanaians want is the reduction in prices in DSTV subscription, not promotion and not offers.
Well, thank you very much. He doesn't appreciate that.
He doesn't appreciate the new packages. I depend. For me, the data packages for it, I'm not a subscriber to DSTV, so I cannot make a data. But I watch them when I go to Pamps. Let's say you're at Honeysuckle or someplace like that, you're watching them.
Or your 5-star hotels?
No, yes, when you go there, you find DSTV is there. That's what you prominently tend to watch.
Yeah.
Yes, and you get your local channels, your foreign, especially the football. Everybody loves the football.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Chelsea fan. So this one is coming from Emmanuel Okwesi Akwa, who is texting from or watching us from Takwa. Good morning to you, Emmanuel. Says, I can't remember the very last time I recharged my DSTV decoder. The nature of our jobs don't allow us to enjoy value for money for them. And they keep calling me for renewal. Well, that's customer service. They have to, customer retention, really, in marketing. I keep telling them to calibrate their subscription as telecommunication companies also do. If I don't use it, there should be a rollover period to the next month. Hey, that's it then. Why do you pay if you don't watch it? GTV should be up. Okay, so I think what many people ask for is what pertains in the West. They want pay-per-view. Pay-per-view. I'm not too sure whether it's going to work in our market, but we'll see.
Well, but
That's
let's hope that the meetings that are supposed to be ongoing really will help solve some of these things. So it's a win-win situation for all of us. But we have Nanayao, who joins us now on the phone. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us where you're calling us from and what you think of what we're talking about today.
Good morning to you all. I've been trying to reach you for so many years now, and today is my first time I've been able to pick that.
Well, that's great. Thank you.
But on my thought on the discussion about the DSTV and Sam Jones issue, the country that we are living now, everything has been politicized. So when even the things in the favor of the citizen, I don't know how to go about, but we see it to be, we see it not to be good because of politics. When someone is doing a favor now, because you are MPP or NDC, you can say because of your political affiliation, whether the thing is good or bad. Whether it's good, when the thing is even good, you might decide to say it's not good because of your affiliation, which is not helping the country. So we should just calm our necks down and appreciate whatever is going on. If it's just a promo, when the time goes, you will definitely know it's a promo. And when if it's something that is about to stay, you definitely get to know that it's going to stay. So after the 3 months, we can criticize him or not. So for now that he's saying that he has negotiated with a multi-choice, we should just adhere with him and relax ourselves and see the way forward. If it is going to stay, then we appreciate that effort. If it is not stay, then we can attack him or talk more about it. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. He said we should all be patient and see the way forward as the ministry as well as DSTV or multi-choice continue to have that conversation or communication in those meetings and stuff. Roland, any more messages for us?
Well, so we have a number of messages. This one is coming from Landlord Bolga D line. He says a man suffering from diarrhea doesn't ask a stammerer for directions to the toilet. Also, he who beats the war drums must be ready to dance to the tune of bloodshed. Nothing Musa no go see for gates. Well, who cares? As it destroyed them, it is sweet us. Landlord Bolga D line. Also Proverbs, so. I know about your thing. Okay, so I have Dr. Akofa Segbafia. Good morning to you, Dr. Segbafia. Been a while. It's a Minister Sam Joe has done well, no doubt. However, DSTV must stop regurgitating movies, documentaries, sitcoms that we watched over 25 years ago. As particularly Delta Force. They keep showing Delta Force featuring Chuck Norris. Oh. Delta Force. I inscribed many years ago, if you ask me. The minister's action must be on telcos and their numerous unsolicited text messages every minute of the day. That one that they tell you should click dial a short code for you to get for you to be able to take it off. You know. Do we have someone else?
Yes, we have another caller from Takoradi. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us what you're thinking today.
Calling from Takoradi, Anaji.
Anaji.
Yes, sir. Yes. Please go ahead.
I think Sam George has done well because Rome was not built by a day. And I think he has started some initiative. And we need to applaud him because this is a multinational company which is taking revenues from the country away. And we are not benefiting anything. And moreover, as Sam George has started, and I learned per their statement, they are going to reveal it by each 3 months. So after 3 months, when we see that the offer they are giving or the service they are providing, the minister can go and push for what we want. So I think it's good. He has started something, and we need to applaud him. For a long time, these DSTV guys, multi-choice, they've taken our money and giving us repeating movies. They don't give us any better movie. They repeat movies. When you go to the channel, they repeat. My decoder is there. I've stopped subscribing it because we don't get value for money. After the premiership, nothingness. They will repeat movies and series, which is not good. And moreover, we are paying kids school fees up and down. Then when they come from school, they should come and watch cartoons and stuff. No, we are tired of that. So I think I applaud the minister for that. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Roland, I think that was the message you were reading earlier.
Yeah.
You mentioned Chuck
You know, the DSTV matter, I'm very uncomfortable talking. I don't subscribe. I subscribed Go TV a couple of, I think a year or two.
But that's another
years
level
ago.
of...
yes, it's one of their products or subsidiaries. So now, let me say good morning to a number of people who work with the Ghana Highway Authority, especially the Greater Accra region. Some great people. Engineer Rita Safo, great lady as well. And then also Christian Doku is also with the Ghana Highway Authority. Grace Nunu is a quantity surveyor. And then Kukua also is there as well. And so we have some great people at the Ghana Highway Authority. All those are the Ghana Highway Authority. I say that the Greater Accra office, great people. And then Frank Fia, you're with, you're an aide to the Minister for Roads, Kwame Govins Agboja. Good morning to you as well as Jude as well. But we have Kwame. Please,
yes, we have Henry joining us on the line. Good morning to you, Henry. Tell us where you're calling us from.
Good morning, madam.
Yes, hope you're doing well, and tell us what's on your mind today.
Yeah, fine. I'm very, very fine. Okay, I want Roland to listen to this, and you should put this thing to the president. He's a listening government. Look, with what Sam George is doing is very, very cool. But, you know, we want the system to be unique. See, the president can go online to tweet and stuff. We have our Ghana card. Why can't we verify our SIM card? Everyone should verify his SIM card so that all things can be verified. Okay, so if they give the telcos 2 months for everyone to verify a SIM card. So if telco gives you the alert, you can verify your SIM card, you get the prompt, and you key in the code to verify. After that, all those cannot verify. That means they don't have their Ghana card. They will be taken off because the fraud is too much in the system now. The fraud is too much in the system. People are dying. Money is not there. Have you seen what is happening now? So people should just verify the SIM card. Every SIM card must be verified. Every SIM card. President, even the president, he has his phone. He can be verify his SIM card. It's just simple as that. So that we clean up the system. Look, I wanted to pay my DSTV. And I Google on DSTV. I have a contact on the DSTV, on the app, Google app. They asked me to key in my UPI something and add my mobile money PIN to rate. Before I see this, I gave the wrong mobile money PIN. Before I see my mobile money PIN, my mobile money, this thing is blocked. That means they are trying to deduct money from my account. All these things are in the system. And we can do this thing easy. Huh? Verification of SIM card is just simple. You get a prompt, verify your SIM card. In 2 months, if you cannot verify your SIM card, go to the network and provide your SIM card for verification, and the system will be clean. See, I can get a SIM card with that registered already and buy. I can buy some and come and give it to you at TV3. Registered SIM card and bring that TV3. So we can work things out. See, I've come so many times to Onya TV to come and see Captain Smart, but he's not giving me the chance. Ghana can be good for all of us, but I think those who are making Ghana uncomfortable is the same people we are working with, the institution we are working with. They are making Ghana not.
Well, thank you so much, Henry, and he's our last caller. I think what he's saying ties in really with what happened yesterday, the launch of the National Cybersecurity Month, where we heard the president even give really everyday examples of fraudsters calling you, speaking Tree English. I'm calling from, MTN and all the other places, just trying to defraud people. I mean, if you didn't get the opportunity to watch it, I think you should go watch it because there was really vital information that was given so that you're able to protect yourself and your loved ones from fraudsters, cyber fraudsters. Yes, there was a word like that.
Well, good morning to you, Emmanuel Paddy, a legal practitioner, so lawyer Emmanuel Paddy, as well as Lawson Jandu as well. And I have a number of comments. This one coming from Akasokri Joseph. He says, Jata George, you have done well. This is the first time a minister is fighting for consumers in this country. And then you added the Jandam thing. MPP has been in power for 8 years and we never enjoyed the office. You are my best minister so far. I'm currently enjoying certain matches on Compact Plus. Which one is the Compact Plus? It's also one of the packages. Okay, because I paid Compact. God bless you. Akasokri Joseph Bongo. And then also I have Kwesi Benson watching us from Albany, New York. There's a message for you though. And let me say good morning to you. Edmond Combat, Tema Oil Refinery, the managing director. Great guy. Wishing you all the best for the day. And then also Alhaji Jibri of the National Security, the Tema Enclave as well. And this one is coming from a number of people. So this one, Oseb Watin says that, tell Beatrice that she looks so good in her dress. And
thank you.
I will certainly come and take her out.
Hey.
Courage Kotoka also says that help me wish my lady Beatrice a happy birthday. Your lady is called Beatrice, only Beatrice. And she has secrets. Beatrice. As for the DSTV issues, I've stopped. If they can't comply, they should just tell Beatrice that I'm coming to take her out, so she should prepare herself.
Hey, Assembly is serious.
Hey, they say you should prepare.
Roland, you help me prepare. Why?
Oh no, I would send them to you. Be me, they forged that thing. All right, so this one also is coming from Kalio Manwa. I'm a subscriber to Compact Plus. Can I now be paying for Compact and still get my Compact Plus? If yes, there has been a reduction. Great analogy. And then there, Nana Gazo, good morning to you as well. He says that you all look very good. I'm watching you right now on television on DSTV. So it speaks a lot about the effort of the minister. Hey, Nana Gazo, Nana Gazo, this one here. And then also, Mama War of the Asogli State says that I'm inviting all of you to the Grand Deba of the Yam Festival of the Asogli State this weekend. We'll be there. I'm a bit unwell though, but we'll be there.
Yeah.
Mama War of the Asogli State said we should come to the Grand Deba of the Yam Festival.
Have you been to the Volta region in a while? So?
You haven't been in a while?
Yes.
Okay, so this weekend we'll be there.
Okay, let's see how
All right.
All right, so now remember that the Ghana Premier League is home right here on TV3. Every week, TV3 gives you 3 live GPL matches. The biggest games, the fiercest rivalries, and the brightest stars brought straight to your screens with our world-class coverage. But that's not all. We set the stage with our GPL preview show, giving you the inside scoop and expert analysis. And when the final whistle blows, we keep you covered with our highlight and review programs, so you never miss a goal, a save, or a talking point. For the fans who love to stay connected on the go, we have reels and updates on all our social media platforms. This is more than just coverage. This is TV3 positioning the Ghana Premier League as premium sports product. So mark your calendars, gather your friends, and join us this weekend for another unforgettable round of Ghana Premier League football, only on TV3.
All right. So just to tell you, by the way of the weather, it's been raining since dawn. But we're going to have some bit of showers, thunderstorms across the capital, and then elsewhere across the country as well, just to keep you up to speed. So if you know you're in any of those areas where it's been trying to rain, make sure that you're safe on the road. All right. A lot of construction going on here and there, so make sure that you drive safely. Keep your speed limits where they have to be. And then also Alberto Noretti with the Graphic Communications Group, they are 75 years, says that that we should come. He'll host us in Ho. So we'll be there for the Asogli Festival Grand Deba. And then Nania Sapong says that the fight is not supposed to be some just fight. If we had an act that deals with consumer protection, that guarantees value for money, quality and assurance, we would not be here fighting over subscription. This is a wake-up call to Parliament. There's a bill that has always been going to Parliament and coming out, getting rotten, literally. It's about time we fought to have that bill passed this year. Nani Sapon, political aide, Alan Kojo, chairman of the Movement for Change. Nani Sapon, it's been a while I've seen you on set. Well, Nani Sapon, good morning to you. All right.
Yes, you're still here on Newday on TV3. And remember, today is Thursday. We're still giving out money. So don't forget to dial *439#. You follow the prompt and pick your favorite platform. And as always, your favorite platform right here on TV3 number 2. So cash out. Remember that the more you stake, the higher your chances of getting the money. How much money are we giving today? I believe another
for all the 10
Ghana
10,000 Ghana cedis each.
10,000 you said?
No, 1,000 Ghana
Okay. 1,000 Ghana cedis. So don't forget, *439#. Follow the prompt and pick your favorite platform. And it's always number 2 right here on TV3. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll bring you the big issue and some other interesting things happening. Don't go away. And you're still here on New Day on TV3. Welcome to the big issue. And like I did tell you earlier, during that earlier conversation, this morning, we're looking at preventing sexual misconduct in our schools. And I'm sure by now you would understand why we want to look into this, because that supposed sexual abuse of assistant headmaster of the KNUST Senior High School of one of the students who is supposed to be underage has really raised a lot of eyebrows, and people are calling for action. Yes, the man has been dismissed. We've seen the gender minister, Namo Molate, also engage with authorities and even calling for the arrest of this man. We've heard the vice president also speak about it. And in addition to that, we'll also be looking at the increment in feeding fee for prison inmates from 1 cedi 80 pesos to now 5 cedis, and really looking at the general conditions beyond feeding that inmates need. But of course, we're starting with the abuse, the sexual abuse of that young girl in the KNUST Senior High School. And very relevant because data shows that 1 out of 11 girls might be abused or might have been abused by either a teacher or a principal of her school. And a lot of data and statistics really coming in. Even a recently cited report or study by the UN, which was done in 2016, suggesting that about 27% of female students claim that they were propositioned or had sexual advances from their teachers, who are supposed to be their people who are guiding them and ensuring that they are protected. And we'll also go into the GES Code of Conduct as well. Thank you so much for joining us. We're joined on the panel by usual Thursday panelists, Madam Rodley Ayana, who is a public interest advocate. Ma'am, it's always great to have you. Good morning to you.
Good morning. It's always great to be here.
We'll also have presidential staffer Nanaya Ajantua join us on the panel as well. And by video call, we'll have Sahadat Ali Halid, who is with the Gender Equality and Social Inclusion Unit of the Africa Education Watch, as well as Mr. Ibrahim Oponkwatin, who is Director, Crime Check Foundation, just to delve into the issues. But before we start the conversation, let us bring you excerpt of a documentary done by my colleague Godwin Asidiba titled Stolen Innocence. Before we go into the conversation, watch this.
They want their wife to be somewhere else, and they will have their co-eds, the young girls that we teaching.
I catch me semen brand who feel like Wakaya, my fin, or Yaya, my quentin, or the pound woman like more paisan.
A disturbing practice has persisted in Achim Asafo in the eastern region of Ghana, where some teachers make sexual advances toward female students. According to concerned residents, efforts to curb this issue has faced significant obstacles. Kawe, a 15-year-old student, not her real name, fell into the trap set by her mathematics teacher at the Asafo Methodist Basic School when she was in junior high school 1. The teacher, in his 40s, had been making inappropriate advances toward her.
Open Form 1, BC, Form 2, like no man finish, and see, do Form 3. No good so mommy attention, like now, me pay. So now, Miss Susan, a cashion, man. Because mammy will be like, or any part or tian. Mamma's Miss will say, the focus our bets, nti man kan hwɛ me mommy nti Emma edu baby na kitchen go so mommy attention nti na me focus.
Tired of resisting, Kawe complied with the teacher's demands, sending nude photos as requested.
You forcing me say me like me Jamie who naked but I'm so that being to me no of forcing me or not draw my attention. The Emma Micha fitting me have a mammy face number every senior and I'm descending. The if it's your corner music on me free a like a back class to cry or child like or to me yeah or pay us to no boy and be to no boy and by I say go be almost on their own bone like baby and all their child
girls being bapo
they've been
And I watched the excerpt of that documentary, Stolen Innocence by Godwin Asidiba. And the last bit you heard, that disturbing commentary coming from that young girl who spoke to Godwin Asidiba on record. Let me say that we're joined in the studio as well by Nanaya Ajanto, our presidential staff. I mentioned earlier that she'll be joining us. The others will also join us via video call very shortly. I want to start with you, Madam Rotlyn Ayana. But before I do that, I mean, it's obvious, and we all do know, that the GES's Code of Conduct really prohibits any sort of sexual misconduct against students or children. And I just want to read just a little bit of it to you. When you go to, I believe, the rule number 3, when you go to section C, where it's talking about sexual violence, it says no teacher shall directly or indirectly do anything that may constitute sexual harassment of a pupil or student. Any teacher who has carnal knowledge of a female or male pupil student of any age, with or without his or her consent, shall be guilty of professional misconduct. And as this issue has come up, that people, I've heard an MP say that, well, there might have been some sort of consent there. He's come out to apologize. But first, before I go on with even the others, let me get your general thought. What came to your mind really when you heard this story about the KNUST, which actually came out on 29th of September, of October? Yes.
Good morning to viewers. The first thing that came to mind was this guy is a beast and must be put away. I felt like, how could you do this? If it was your daughter, would you do that? And looking at his face, somebody who looks really matured, which means that he has children of his own. So how could you behave that way? That was the first thing that came to mind. And I was happy that he had been sanctioned, and the gender minister is going forward to make sure that he pays dearly for what he has done. This will serve as a deterrent, because somehow a lot of these things have been happening and people seem to just look the other way. But there are so many reasons why we should talk about this issue. This was just one of the few the many that is out there. Before we can speak of how to, let's see why. We are now in a society that I would say that discipline is very lax. We don't have discipline in our schools. We don't have discipline in our homes. Children go to school now, you cannot discipline them. You cannot even raise your voice, then it becomes the same as civil society. We are harassing the children, we are abusing them, we are removing their rights and all that. This has given the children some form of strength to be able to do all manner of things. Social media hasn't helped. They're learning all the negative things. And somehow, I mean, recently we saw a clip doing the rounds where young people who had just finished school were actually threatening people out there, married people out there. We're going to go out and take your husband.
For your husbands.
We are coming for your husbands. We are coming for that. It's not new. It isn't new. When we're growing up, You know, we had that. I'm in Baye. You know, they used to say that, but it wasn't like the way they now say it with bravado. They look at it as a normal thing.
No shame.
No shame. No shame. And it's been going on. I mean, year upon year, we are seeing it. We are seeing even activities happening between students and students in the classrooms. We are seeing all manner of indecent behavior. But why? Our society. Look at us. Look at the way we present ourselves. You know, when I was growing up, and I still think it holds, that you're told that as a lady, you don't shake your bumps. It's completely vulgar to go shaking your bumps. Today, it's accepted. It's a norm. Women actually go out there shaking their bumps, and society is looking at them and admiring them. It's vulgar. It's terrible. Then you see us pop our breasts, then shine them. Even now, it's taken a low term because I think people spoke a lot about it. But those are the things that are happening. So many things we are doing as adults and as young people, you know, adolescents. They learn from us. They look at it and they think that it's okay. What kind of movies do we watch at home with our kids? You know, what kind of language do we use in front of our kids? The behaviors, you know, all those things, they're learning from us. So somehow, as parents also, we have lost it. We are not able even to talk to our children. You have to be able to talk to your child, your daughter especially. Her first period, you should be able to educate her on all the issues that come with it. So that when she goes to school, she will at least be armed to face the teacher when the teacher says this and that. You understand? But these days, we don't do that. The young guys, you break a voice, and you know your father is like, hey, young man, come and sit down. This is it. If you don't know and you touch this is what is going to happen. But now we all go out to work. Economic. So we go out to work. Everybody is looking for money. We don't even have time to sit and talk to our children. You understand? When you talk to your daughter, if she's your friend, she will tell you when the teacher is harassing her. She will tell you when a young boy or anybody else is harassing. But we don't talk to them. So now it's peer pressure and a lot. So they just do what they want to do. So what can we do? We can start by doing the real parenting. Let's start by talking to our children. Let's start by telling them what is right and what is wrong. And then also let's hope and pray that the GES will stick by its rules and always punish, not transfer. You see, somebody does something wrong and then you hear that the person has been transferred to another place. It's not only from the GES, but from other institutions. Let's punish. Let's make it so bad that a deterrent that no one would want to do it again. And then also, I think that pharmacies, one of the things that is making this thing to go, you know, kind of like haywire, is because of the after pill. Young ladies or young girls are beginning to think that it's toffee. I'll go and have sex and then go and take a pill and I won't get pregnant. So it's actually encouraging them to go out there. And then pharmacists are selling it. The pharmacists must be strict on who gets hold of these.
That should be like the Medical and Dental Council,
yes,
really prescribing what drugs are off the counter and
exactly,
which ones are category A and the rest.
So the young man shouldn't be able to just get those drugs just like that. But they're getting it. As for condom, that's it. It's all over. You can buy it, scented, whatever. They have them. You understand? But these days, what we're seeing is a lot of teenage pregnancy, which definitely means that there is no condom use. So let's get that one also. Because you see, the education on venereal diseases, we have stopped mostly. Since HIV became controlled, nobody's talking about HIV, nobody's talking about syphilis, nobody's talking about gonorrhea and the likes. So these are the things that we must start doing. We must start talking.
I'm glad you talk about the parents, the need for parents to take a closer look at how they're raising their children. But growing up, I also remember the saying that it's a society that raises a child, to an extent that I had my grandmother telling me that, hey, don't think that because you're yet to have your menses, you can't get pregnant, because there are those who have sexual intercourse before they actually see their first menses and they get pregnant out of that. That puts some sort of fear in you that you need to be careful even, I mean, wherever you find yourself. And so that's why I want to ask you that you admitting the bit that parents are now very busy because of economy and a lot of activities. Shouldn't it be the entire family being concerned about how they are raising a girl or a boy through the community or the society?
Who is the family? The unit that becomes the family are all out there hustling. You understand? The unit that is supposed to be there. The grandmother that some years ago would be sitting at home and checking you as to which boy is coming is also working. You understand? It's a vicious cycle. Society is rushing. We are rushing. You have not noticed. We are rushing everywhere we are going. Rushing to catch the trotro. We're rushing to go and come out. You know, everything we are doing as a country, we are rushing. So our children are actually not receiving the best. And, you know, we've learned a few things from social media, from friends, from travels, and the likes. Now we have house parties. Do you know what happens to those exclusive house parties? They're almost nudist camps. People know, what are we doing about it? And then we have a situation where people in society, big people in society, when they're having their parties, they make it a point to say, let's get a bus to go and bring university girls. Do you understand? Is it new? But it's something that is there. What are we doing about it? What are you as a parent doing when your child comes with a car, with a new phone, with a new set of clothes, with new shoes that you didn't buy? What are you doing? They hardly notice it. Because they're so busy out there chasing after money, chasing after worldly things. And then at the end of the day, we have so many teenage pregnancies. We have children going to school with no advice whatsoever, and therefore they face the teacher, and that is the trouble. And most of these people are vulnerable because of lack of certain things. So the poor, their children are really suffering. Because when you send your child off to school, she has no money. She probably doesn't even have soap. Basic things like soap. You understand? A teacher takes that as a clue. You don't have money. Why is it every day you are looking drab? You are looking this. You know, oh, come and get this money. Go and buy food. Go and, that is how it starts. We must look after our children. We must have time.
Let me get your thoughts, Nana Ajantra. But before you even come in, let me say that we're joined by Sahadatu Ali Halid with the Gender Equality and Social Inclusion Unit of the Africa Education Watch. I'll be coming to you very shortly to get your perspectives. Nana, I realized that you were reacting to what Madam Ayana was saying.
No, I'm very quiet this morning. Good morning to you and good morning to your viewers. Auntie, good morning. You see, this thing didn't start today. And I believe the fulcrum of our conversation goes around the video that was viral.
Exactly, with the assistant headmaster's hand on the breast,
so I am saying that who took that video? Do you get me? Then, yes, maybe the MP has apologized and everything. But looking at the other side, was there consent? Who took that video? That the assistant headmaster's hand on the breast, and the girl did not pull the hand away.
No.
And took a video and it went viral.
And laughing.
And laughing. Was it not consent?
I'm trying to get the point you're making.
I'm just trying to ask that who took that video in the first place?
So are you supporting the view of consent in
I
this
am
scenario?
saying that we should also check our girls.
How old is she anyway?
Do you get me? As we bash the older ones, we should also check our girls. Because I always say that if you are in that situation, we've been young girls before, and you resist, you go through some punishment, but that resistance makes you feel good. Do you get me? So nobody has asked the question, who took that video? And who sent it viral?
But the whole idea is that somebody in essence, she's a child. And so even if there was a supposed consent, that is still wrong.
I am saying that it is wrong, but I'm saying who took that video? So we need to check our girls. They want to get material things. Even when they don't they haven't gotten to that stage. Do you get me? They watch social media videos and they see luxury out there. This social media is not helping us. So they see all these, some people will just flaunt their houses, some are AI generated, and when they see them, they become greedy. But we need to also, before a child goes to school, we need to also educate them. I want to say that this practice has not been there today. Teachers, male teachers, trying to sleep with female students. It is not today. Not to also talk about their own mates who rape them. And they don't talk about it. Beatrice, you see, everybody is talking about teenage pregnancy. Me, that is not my worry. Teenage pregnancy, you give birth to a human being. If you are serious, you go back to school. But if you contract HIV, you are doomed.
Or syphilis.
There is this, a doctor friend of mine said a young girl came to her and the girl looked wasted. Very beautiful girl. All the symptoms pointed to HIV, but she was praying in her heart that it is not it, but maybe something else. She did the test and that girl had HIV. She said she just could not, when she saw the results, she could not stand it. And you know the number of girls getting HIV these days? They are vulnerable. Nobody is watching their way. I also blame the headmasters. When they get the position as headmasters, they just sit and don't look. You see, when you have a lecherous teacher, you should be able to see somewhat that this is a lecherous one. So you need to deal with it. So if you're a headmaster of a school and you are not doing monitoring, finding out what is going on, house mistresses, house masters, instead of always being, the word is not coming, but being like people who are always on the children, beating them, shouting on them, you need to speak to them, put them in a corner, find out what is happening. If a child is in school and the child is not doing well, the child is not happy, as a house mistress or house master, you should know. You see, we are even talking about the ladies. What about the men? With all this homosexuality going on, what is happening to our boys? What is happening to our boys? We are seeing the girls, but what about our boys? Who cannot even come out and tell anybody? Maybe a teacher is touching a boy. A teacher is doing something. A teacher was touching a friend's son. Do you get it? And this boy was so depressed. So what is going on in that school, the boarding houses, what is going on, Beatrice? We need to really look at it. And as Auntie said, we the parents, we have left the raising up of our children to the teachers. We don't have time. Always going out hustling. But you need to have time. Me, I always have time for my children. My children are old. But even though I was busy, I'll make sure that you go to Sunday school. I make sure that we read the Bible. I'll make sure that we pray. I make sure that I put certain things in you for you to understand that there are things you cannot do. Do you get me? We have to make time, my dear, for our children.
And I want to read to you sexual harassment and misconduct policy as put out by the University of Ghana. Of course, what we are talking about is pre-tertiary.
Yes.
But the way the University of Ghana put it out, it seems like it covers whatever we are discussing. And it talks about definition of sexual harassment and other forms of sexual misconduct. And it says that this is defined as in sexual harassment as an unwelcome conduct of a sexual nature, including unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal, non-verbal, written, electronic, graphic, or physical conduct or behavior of a sexual nature when submission or a rejecting of such conduct is made either explicitly or implicitly a term or condition of an individual's employment, academic standing, or participation in an educational program or activity. But I want to read this to you because of a point you made earlier, that sexual relationships that occur in the student-teacher context or in the context of employment, supervision, or evaluation present special problem. These types of sexual relationships are especially vulnerable to exploitation due to the difference in power and the respect that are often present between a teacher and a student, a supervisor and a subordinate, or a senior and junior colleague. As a result of this power differential, a student's voluntary participation in a sexual relationship with an individual in a position of power does not on its own demonstrate that the conduct was welcome. And you made a point about the young girl laughing.
Yeah, why are you laughing?
Yes, but again, this explains it clearly that because of the positioning of the individuals involved, irrespective, the person with the higher authority should rather be considered as somebody who probably didn't take the responsibility as he should be. And that's why I want to come to you on that.
Why should you, little girl, laugh when an older man puts his hand on your breast?
So I'm saying, assuming that these children are coming from homes where people are not guiding them as to what to do, you expect that people in such authority will be tougher and ensure the right things are done.
I am saying that you, that young girl, there are things I don't want to say, but we are dealing with a certain yes. I even go beyond schools to older men who chase younger women. A friend of mine took a daughter to a Legon. When she got to the hall, the man said, "Take your child back home." The porter. Yes. The porter told my friend that take your child back home.
Why?
Yes. Because the porter said that the things that happen here, it is not good for the eyes. He actually told my friend things that cannot be said here. How these young girls are taken out by older men.
Yeah. And it's in society.
Yes, buying cars for them. They don't learn. I mean,
it's true.
This is from a porter, so I don't have, there's no evidence to the fact. So I can't say it publicly.
Sex for grades.
Yes. I mean, it is going on. So I believe that as you see, when God created Adam, he said something that sometimes we take it for granted. He looked at him and said, this one cannot be alone. So it means we, the stronger species, always we should make sure that our daughters are protected. I've said it in different words. I cannot come out and say, but this one I'm talking about reality. Reality that happens on the ground. Do you get me? There are girls, you see, the home plays a lot, I mean, a bigger role. Because there are girls even who are very poor. But if you make the attempt to even go close, they will reject you outright. There are girls who are from rich homes. Look, I have a friend there who went to a party. This friend has bought a car for the daughter. This friend is rich. Then he went to a friend's party and his daughter came there as an escort. His own daughter, who is in Legon, as what Auntie said.
Bring the bus.
Yes, in the bus came as an escort. The girl lacks nothing.
Peer pressure.
I think we need to take our time and have a holistic view of what it is very dangerous, because some of these girls even go out in the night to prostitute while their parents are at home. What is going on is very, very dangerous. And the aspect of HIV, the number of young girls who are getting HIV and the number of these girls who are spreading the disease because they are angry that somebody has somebody has given them a disease. Because right now there's no education on the usage of condoms.
They've stopped.
They have stopped because the Global Fund is talking about stigma. And there's no education on being infected. And people are being infected. Go to the AIDS Commission. The kind of data they have is horrendous. And everybody is looking away. How do you even know that this teacher has something like that? and he's also angry. I mean, we have to look into this matter very well. How do we know? How do we know that it is not that teacher alone in the school doing that?
Security men.
Security men.
School security.
School security. Sleeping with girls who allow them to leave the school, go out at night. Because they want to go out and do their own thing, they'll sleep with the security. The security will allow them to go as payment.
Yeah.
How do you, I mean, it is so terrible that we need to really put the thing right there on the table and, I mean, dissect it. And we should not leave the girls out. We should not leave the boys out. Yes, an older man should have a responsibility, but we have the bigger responsibility, because if a man touches you and you say no, it is no. The man cannot do anything. Anybody who tells me that he can, what can he do? He will fail you in your grades. Your life will be uncomfortable, but you will keep your dignity. Do you get me? Me as a young girl, I faced this thing so much. That is why I stopped journalism. Because everywhere I went, I would get a complimentary card. Then I saw the stress was too much. I said, okay, let me go and do PR. Do you get me? So you yourself should also have strategies to protect yourself. When I was a little girl, I used to always be in shorts and playing with boys. Do you get me? Always with the boys fighting.
Tomboy?
Yes. My grandmother called me and said, Nanaya, Achempem, you are a woman. Your friends are not boys. A woman has female friends. It stayed with me. Gradually, I moved away from that life. Do you get me? So family has, it is very encompassing. Family has a responsibility. Society has a responsibility. Government has a responsibility. Do you get me? Schools have a responsibility. Universities, even primary, the other one, the GHS. It is going on.
Yeah.
The primary one, there are people, teachers who touch the genitals of young boys. I'm telling you.
Perverts. We have them in those
we have perverts touching young boys. Do you get me? Maybe this video has opened up the conversation. But we have in primary school teachers touching young boys. And when they come home, they are so down they can't even talk about it. The teachers keep touching these young boys. You get me?
I will come back to you, Nanaya Jantra. Let me get the thought of Sahadatu Ali Khalid. And I did mention that you're with the Gender Equality and Social Inclusion Unit of the Africa Education Watch. We've heard both Madam Nanaya Jantra and Madam Ayana talk about why the family plays such a crucial role. But from where you sit with perhaps the kind of data you have, where do you see the problem coming from?
Okay, all right. Can you hear me, Beatrice?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so before I start, I would like us to come back to the main issue. What the main issue is. This issue is a case of sexual exploitation, which means that this is someone who is in a position of authority. Okay, taking advantage of someone beneath them, a subordinate, someone that is beneath them. Okay, I see this conversation going around like this. We are talking more of what the girls should do rather than what the adults, someone who is in the position of authority, someone who should know better, someone who has more experience in life than the child. And that, I think this is a societal thing. Okay, when issues like this happen, we tend to blame the one that has been exploited, because this is a clear case of sexual exploitation. You can't tell me that even if the girl is 16 years, you can't tell me that she gave consent. Even if she did, this is uninformed. She doesn't know better than the assistant headmaster. Even if she was the one that came onto him, he, as an adult, as someone is in authority, she being under her care, he is like now a father to her. Would you tell me that if you're a father and then your daughter comes onto you, you say that because she took that step, so you're going to sleep with her? No. No, and this is why this kind of things, they go on and then the victims are not able to talk about it. Okay? This one has been recorded. How about the ones that go on in secret that we don't know about? Are we saying that if a girl comes from a home where there are no structures to make sure she's in line, it's okay for her to be exploited? How about kids that don't have parents? Are we saying that they should be exploited? I hear comments about the way girls carry themselves these days. They are shaking their bum, the way they dress. Please, we have older people exploiting children, even babies. Do babies shake their bum-bums? No. I think as a society, we really need to come back. Elsewhere, okay, elsewhere where systems are working, even a verbal statement that suggests sexual exploitation is dealt with. Is dealt with. And when we do this, we encourage predatory actions. We encourage these people. Okay, if I'm a teacher and I take advantage of children, and then a case comes out like this, and I see people making excuses for me, I'll be emboldened to do more, because I know that when mine comes out, I'll have people making excuses for me. People will talk more about the child that I exploited than talk about me. Okay, so this is what I wanted to make.
I mean, I get the point you're making, which is perhaps in line with what I read earlier about the University of Ghana Sexual Misconduct Code. But again, I earlier read that the Code of Conduct of the GES, beautifully written in there. Would you say that perhaps the GES itself has not been forthcoming when it comes to monitoring its own code of conduct to ensure that teachers, head teachers, or people in authority are abiding by these rules, as it were?
I think the problem has to do more with the reporting systems. Do we have reporting systems in place? Okay, how many sexual exploitation cases are taking place? Are they being reported? Do we have data to know what is going on? I think that's where the problem is. If there's no data, no action can be taken. Okay, so we need to put in. I'm aware that there's a safe schools program being implemented. Okay, and then the safe school policy is also under review, and then for approval, and then the approval state. But until then, what are the structures in the schools? Okay, so that when I'm reported, I can go. And if they are there, are they child friendly? Do they protect the victim? If I come, won't I be the one to be blamed that I'm the one that went onto the teacher? Why did I wear this? Why did I walk in a certain way? Okay, would I feel comfortable going to report? Are the systems there? Are they working? That is what we should be talking about.
Let me get your thoughts on the responses so far. I mean, the moment this thing came out, the GES issued a statement, talked about investigation. We understand that he was removed. Yesterday, the gender minister also paid a visit, confirming that the man has been dismissed and saying she's taking steps to ensure that the police arrest this man. We've had the vice president also make commentary about it. How do you assess the response so far since this incident happened?
Okay, so our statement on the 30th on the issue, okay, so in the statement we commended the GES for the action they've taken so far. Okay, but beyond this comments, okay, from people in authority, we are calling for a thorough investigation. Okay, and then when we talk about thorough investigation, we are not we want the scope. We don't want it to be limited to just this incident, okay? The scope should be opened, okay? We should find out, is the teacher doing this with other students, okay? And then whether there are other teachers who are also into this. So that is the next step. Yes, the head teacher has been dismissed, has been asked to step aside whilst investigation goes on. But we want the investigation to be broad. The scope should be widened so that we find out what really is going on in the school, so that we go ahead and then resolve the issue.
I'll come back to the panel here, but let me ask you this. I mean, it's true that we don't seem to have proper coordinated data on this, except for the ones that come to the media like we're talking about now. How do you think that perhaps is worsening the situation now, day in and day out?
Okay, so as I already mentioned, if there's no data, okay, we need to make informed decisions, okay? And it is data that will help us to do that. If there's no data, we don't know whether the structures, if there are existing structures, we don't know whether the structures are working, what needs to be fixed moving forward, okay? So we need to come back and then make sure there are structures in the school, okay, to identify the sexual exploitation, to report it. And then when it is reported, there should be mechanisms for swift investigation. There should be mechanisms to protect the victim, okay? And then whoever is found culpable should be punished. And then, as was mentioned earlier, we should stop this transfer of a teacher. When he misconducts himself in one school, then he's transferred to another school, okay? A teacher who does this has no place in the school. He has no business being around kids in the school. Okay, and then beyond that, they should be prosecuted too.
What kind of punishment do you expect be meted out to this man and any other person who's been involved in such a thing, aside from he being dismissed from his position?
Okay, as we speak, I don't know the position of the law, okay, but from where I sit, if the law says that this person should serve a prison term, or I don't know what the law says, but I think that it should. It's not enough for him to be dismissed. Okay, this person, his license should be revoked. He shouldn't go anywhere near a classroom. Okay, and then criminal this process should be taken. Should be started.
I know that if you're looking at our constitution, for instance, depending on the nature of the offense, the sentences could range from a minimum of 6 months to about 25 years for rape and statutory rape, among others.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So we should. My point is that we shouldn't let this slide. It shouldn't die with just he being dismissed. Okay, we should move forward to make sure he doesn't teach again, okay? And then he should be prosecuted. He should face the law.
He should face the law. Nana Ajanto, I realized that you were reacting to some of the comments she made earlier, that we should focus more on the adult who has refused to hold on to or has failed to be responsible, rather than blaming the victim, who is just a child, and no matter how you look at it, could not have consented to this.
You see, what she said that I go with is the holistic investigations and approach, that we should not only concentrate on what has happened for this incident alone, but we should do further investigations even into other schools, like is it Godwin
Asidiba, yes.
Godwin Asidiba did. And that is another school we are talking about. So it means that this action is very invasive. Do you understand me? It is all over the place. I don't know which school Godwin went to or which town or city. So if that place, it is also happening, and then we need to really look at it. You see, number two, when this person is sacked, he goes to another school, right? Maybe he'll go to a private school. Kinu State is a public school. Maybe he goes to a private school and finds a job to teach. And it continues. Yes. Why don't we do, I don't know if some security checks are done when teachers are employed. Maybe we have to look at their background. Maybe he has done it in another school before and he was caught. And now he's risen to the level of an assistant headmaster, right? Throughout the process, maybe he's been doing this. It is not like he's done it only once. But I do not think that anybody is talking about only the victim. We are talking both sides in the argument. Do you get me? Whoever whichever male, adult male, is involved in these actions, they have to be dealt with. But we also have a responsibility as girls and women. Do you get me? We cannot say that because we are victims. And I don't want anybody to even call us victims. Because we also have a responsibility to say no. When these men, the older men, come onto us, we should also have our own actions to protect ourselves. You could even report to maybe the school prefect, somebody. Talk to your mother. If you don't have a mother, everybody has a guardian. Yes, because what we are saying here is that we have to also protect ourselves so that we are not preyed on. Do you get me? Because if we do not protect ourselves, this one is not only to girls, so even the older ones who are working in institutions, they might face the same thing. You go to work and you are not happy because your boss is preying on you, either male or female. Me, I see it both sides. So we need to also protect ourselves. We are not saying that the men, I mean, nobody is saying the men should not be blamed. We have blamed them as we sit here. But the onus also falls on us, family, everybody, for us to be protected. The wider family should protect the girls, should speak to them, should educate them. Even within the schools, there should be awareness creation on some of these issues. And as I said before, reiterating that for me, it is not even the pregnancy anymore. Beatrice, is the diseases that you will get that will live with you for the rest of your life. So if that man says that they will not let you be, you should let yourself be. Be confident enough and bold enough and say, no, I will not do it. No matter what you say, even if it will cost my education. Because if you are not careful, it will cost your life.
It will cost your life. I'll come to you very shortly, Madam Ayana, for your final word on this, and then we'll move on to reforming our prisons and ensuring that it is more of a reformative area rather than further punishment. But there's this comment coming from Olufemi Ben, who says, good morning, Beatrice. On the topic, as in what we're discussing now, I passed through a private university at Agbogba 2 days ago, and the number of private cars parked outside the university was outstanding and scandalous. The students, into bracket female, are willing players in the game of enticement and prostitution. That's your view. We don't have
that evidence to that
fact
Maybe
that those cars belong to the student, and even how they got the
Maybe
cars.
Maybe they are workers who are doing.
Yes. So, but let me get your final thought on this before we move on to.
They are migrating from the senior high schools to the universities. When I was talking about the shaking of buttocks and things, it's twerking. We see them all the time on social media. Females, young girls twerking, and for me that is vulgar. You understand? And when we are talking about parents, we are not necessarily, there's no one person that is in an island. You must have a guardian. You must have somebody to be able to talk to you. Even a next door neighbor who is not related to you sometimes can call you and tell you that, give you some advice, But all that being said, what I want to know is, how do we even select headmasters and headmistresses, people to head schools? Do they go through any form of profiling? Do we have any form of psychological tests to see what kind of people they are to go and head schools? Because, you see, I think that things seem to have changed. Years gone by, when we used to carry books to go and give to teachers or headmasters in their homes, these things were not there. Because somehow, those headmasters knew their jobs, they knew their duties, that they were guardians of those children that are in the school with them.
So what we are seeing in schools is a reflecting of
society.
Yes. The deterioration of morals in our society.
It's the fact that today the girl child unfortunately sees sex as normal. It's nothing. It's not sacred anymore. You understand? And it's because of the way society has done it. They're so, used to seeing those things. And the mobile phone. Discipline on the use of the mobile phone. Mobile phones are also one of the things, because sometimes when you even hold it, you want to record all manner of things. Do this and let's record. And even though there are regulations that mobile phones should not be used in schools, they cannot, the schools are unable to actually, hold this policy. You still find students holding mobile phones. And it encourages these kinds of things. If there was no mobile phone, maybe we wouldn't have seen this and probably brought it out. So somehow, we need to be able to, as parents again, I think that it should start from the home.
It should start from the
Yes,
home.
We should talk to our girls.
There's a statement coming from Idi Amin. Says, good morning. Why do we always wait for something to happen before the institution starts to work? These schools do not have this institution helping the teachers to work well. We need to counsel the schools. Okay, so I'm trying to get clarity on what you sent me, but basically saying that we should be proactive rather than reactive. There's another one coming. Okay, there's no name, but it says, Auntie, this menace of sexual exploitation is all over. In the security services, banks, ministries, etc., traditional setting, etc., commanders are cowing young police women into submission. CEOs are subjugating their female workers. The DCs are forcing their female subordinates into sexual activities with them. Even chiefs do the same. Okay, so we don't have evidence. Again, I'm just reading what you said as in your opinion. Yes, maybe a piece of land. For the employed adult females, they are cowed, but the juveniles, their innocence is exploited. Yes. It is a big fight we have started, and we must fight it to the end. Thank you very much for sending us your views. But I want us to move on to the bit about the prisons and the fact that we had that information coming through. 1 cedi, 80 pesos as feeding fee to now 5 cedis. Yesterday, my colleagues and I right here were just doing the calculation in terms of the percentage of increment, and it was over 100%. But there's still that concern that it may not be necessarily adequate to deal with all the challenges we have, even including reforms that we need within our prison service. Of course, we know the data that is already available about how overcrowding in our prisons is even posing health issues for them. Institutions that are supposed to accommodate about 10,000, now over 15,000 and more. And now we're having the feeding issue as well. Perhaps I should start with you, Madam Nanaya Ajantwa, on this step and what we further need to do to ensure that our prisons are more corrective than adding further punishment to people who are already there.
Beatrice, thank you very much, and I'll congratulate His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for this move and for the government that I work for, that this is a very good one. 1 cedi, 80 pesos to 5 cedis is a great move, and we know that by the end of our tenure, this would have been increased more. This shows that government is very particular about the vulnerable. You see, when you get into that prison, you become a vulnerable person, no longer a criminal. Because there are so many reasons why somebody is going to prison. During the 2024 campaign elections, I did my campaign in the prisons. And we were advocating for an increase in feeding fee. As we went around the prisons, I went round with Mago. Good morning, Mago. I went round with Mago to most of the prisons in this country. And the conditions there are not good enough. The women have skills. They do slippers, they do key holders. But when you hear the reasons why some of them are there, somebody borrowed 50 cedis, somebody fought her rival, somebody slapped somebody. Do you get me? I think we have to go back to our laws and find a way to put in place the non-custodial sentencing act. Yeah. It is time that we did that, because when people are put in there in that situation, and you hear and you see, it is the productive section of our population. Young boys,
in the prisons.
young women. And for the men, it is sad. You find somebody as young as 20 years, 18, from Boston, transferred to the prison. What are the crimes? Some of the crimes you just cannot comprehend. And you see in their faces they have lost hope. I think the reformative part of the prisons, we should start igniting it. Because they are there and they don't feel any hope. There was a young woman that I encountered. She was alone. You could see that she felt lost. And how she got there was the same supervision that we are talking about. She did something that she thought that she was going to enrich herself, and it landed her into trouble. So I think that it is time that we look at the Non-Custodial Sentencing Act. Because you see, I've heard it is steeped in this, the law that allows people to give money. I've forgotten the name. It will come. Do you get that when you do something and you return the money? It is steeped in there. But we need to have a Non-Custodial Sentencing Act.
And that was actually a proposal that was championed by the late Interior Minister, Makoyongo, in 2015, after a report on a 2-day forum that was held. He pushing for it because of the overcrowding nature of how crowded our prisons are. But would you say that over the years, perhaps we've just paid lip services to these and we are not really paying attention to dealing with the problem as we should?
We need to do, because you see, for instance, His Excellency Mahama is the only president who has visited the prisons. Remember, he did. Then when he wanted to do some of these reforms, 2016, he left power. And I believe that this time round, he's very serious about it, because when he commissioned the prison director general, he actually spoke about reforms and also spoke about the fact that the prisons should be made productive, like they should go into farming. There's a lot of farmlands around the prisons, and that they should be productive and go into farming. For instance, when Mr. Kwame Pianim was in prison in those days, he activated the prison farms, and they were able to cultivate a lot of, cereals, food, for them to even feed themselves in the prison at Nsamom. I think it has to be done. But for me, the Non-Custodial Sentencing Act is key. Because Beatrice, when you go there and you speak to some of these young children, they are children. They don't even know why they got there. And mostly it's young ones who are from single parent homes. And they get into the hands of somebody who just introduced them to crime. Do you get me? And these young men think that they have to look after their mothers and their younger siblings. So they get into all these manner of things. I think that it is time for us to also have some social net. Between this country, our social net is suffering. It is leaking. We need to look after the women and the men who are single. You can be single in so many ways.
It means that we need a whole holistic approach towards how we're dealing with societal issues in Ghana.
The social safety nets are missing. Do you get me? And some of these young ones get into prison because there's nobody protecting them. You hear some of the things they stole, maybe a phone, stole yam.
And they are sent to 5 to 10 years.
5 to 10 years and more. Young men. Young men. One of the young men, he's now old. He said he pushed somebody and the person hit his head and died. That was about 30 years ago. He was 20. He has been in the prison 30 years. But this time, this person has reformed. Do you get me? We need to really look at some of these things to decongest our prison, also make them useful, put them in some trade, make sure that they go to school. Because whenever I go and I come back, I'm so depressed. So I tell myself that it could be anybody in there. In that prison are doctors, there are lawyers. You can get there. There are politicians.
Anything.
Anybody can get in there. So one of the prison officers asked me that, Madam, day in, day out, after every regime, you receive your people here. Why is it that when you come to power, you don't do anything about the prisons?
You don't go to prison.
Receive your people, meaning that politicians come here every day after every regime change. So why are we not doing anything? And when they are there, they will promise that when they go, they will do something. When they come out, they forget. So we really need to look at that because those are our brothers and our sisters. Those are human beings, Beatrice. They are not animals. An unfortunate situation sends somebody there. It does not mean that person is an animal. The person is a human being, and I believe that I know how passionate His Excellency Mahama is, and I know that our government is going to make sure that the prison is decongested because it cannot continue like that.
And I'll come back to you, and I'll also come back to you, Madam Ayana. But we're joined by Ibrahim Opon-Kwateng, who is Director, Crime Check Foundation. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, let me get your thoughts on this move by the government to increase the feeding fee from 1 cedi 80 pesos to 5 cedis, but really going beyond that, and what further things we need to ensure that our prisons serve the purpose they are supposed to serve.
Right, thank you very much. So let's start with the feeding fee, which has been increased from 1 cedi 80 pesos to 5 cedis. I think a step in the right direction, better late than never, but we at Crime Check believe that it's not enough. It's not enough. We would definitely have to commend the president for taking that bold step, because I think for the past 10 to 12 years, it's not been increased. So definitely, it's a step in the right direction, but it should have been increased, taking into cognizance the economic context. And perhaps there could have been broader stakeholder engagement. And so for me, for us here, it is still not enough. The prison service is inundated with a lot of challenges, well, you are fully aware. Take 5 cedis to the market. What does it buy? So it equals 1 cedi 66 pesos for breakfast, 1 cedi 66 pesos for lunch, and perhaps 1 cedi 65 pesos for supper. So let me ask you, will it achieve the desired results if the objective of imprisonment is for the reformation and rehabilitation of inmates? And if we want to make our prisons purely correctional institutions, then it is important that government realizes the need to support the Ghana Prison Service. Now, let's look at this. The prison service have, and I'm sure you may be aware, large tracts of land. Some of the prisons even have dams. If you look at the Utukam prison, to borrow the political phrase, they have the men. Some with master's degree in agriculture. I'm talking about prison officers. So why haven't we expanded prisons agriculture? Of course, there wouldn't have been any need to even increase the feeding fee if successive governments, had put in place mechanisms to ensure that prison agriculture is expanded. They don't have to go and buy any land. They only need the inputs. We don't need to warehouse prisoners. They are being warehoused, and we are using our taxpayers' money to feed them. And I don't think that is the way to go. Prison administrations all over the world have evolved. So if we realize that, the inmates keeping prisoners instead of warehousing them, prisons administrations have become a sort of business. If you know what to do, then you get the desired results, the economic benefits from their incarceration, rather than see them as a relegated species who are always at the periphery. It's important that government takes a broader look at all these variables and then do something different.
Aside from utilizing those who are behind bars, there's also the argument of the non-custodial sentencing, which will give people opportunity for community service, fines, probation, community supervision, and all of that. Why do you think that successive governments have failed at implementing this very thing that could help decongest the prisons, for instance?
Perhaps I'm sure you could use your platform to ask successive governments. We have been drumming home the need for the passage of the non-custodial sentencing bill into law. It's so crucial. If you look at our prisons, 47 prisons across the country, the government of Ghana have added just about 4 or 5 since independence. All the structures are colonial structures that weren't meant even to be used as prisons in the first place. If you look at Tamale local prison, that is where the British kept their horses. We could go on and on and on. So there is the need. So with these structures unfit for human habitation, it's important we expand. If we don't have the means to expand, then there should be a stronger legislative framework where we can change some of these outmoded laws to accommodate what would bring in proper reformation and rehabilitation. So we don't understand why successive parliaments, successive governments have failed to pass the non-custodial sentencing bill into law. It's so crucial. So I don't know. We in civil society are doing our part. We can only draw government's attention. We've been organizing press conferences. We've been bringing in stakeholders. So I don't know. Perhaps you could do a follow-up and ask why.
Sometimes the perception is that when you haven't been to prison before, you don't know the conditions. You can just assume, you don't even think about it, and perhaps don't even understand the kind of conditions people are in. Do you think perhaps beyond the civil society organizations that you are involved in, Ghanaians should be more educated to raise the issue with the government, or whichever government is in power, to ensure that the right thing is done and we get the right results?
Right. I think it is not even a matter of education. Everybody knows the, deplorable prison conditions. A child in the womb of the mother even knows. And so I think it is about certain unfortunate entrenched perceptions that prisoners are people who should be pushed to the periphery. They are not needed. All of them have committed crimes. But you and I know, if you watch some of our documentaries, some of them did not even commit the crimes, for which reason they have been convicted, because of the challenges we have with our criminal justice system. We could go on and on and on. Shoddy police investigations, unscrupulous. There are lots of problems that have pushed people into prison. So it is not a matter of education. It's a matter of commitment. It's a matter of goodwill. It's a matter of understanding that these individuals are human beings. The prison, as we always continue to say, is everybody's potential second home. And the paradox is that it is only when politicians are in prison that they come singing songs of change. President Mahama has shown a strong commitment. I spoke to him around June last year. And what he said is that if you are talking about prison conditions to me, that you are talking to the converted, I understand. We went with him in 2016 to Nsawam. He understands the nuances. That is why the government should be commended. But what we are saying is that it is not enough. There should be a round table for all of us to know that the administration of prisons has evolved. There are so many frameworks that talks about the need to treat prisoners in a certain way. We know, all are aware of the Mandela rules on the treatment of prisoners, for instance. But just as I said, we are where we are because of entrenched perceptions that relegate prisoners to the background.
Thank you so much. We'll have to end it with you. Mr. Ibrahim Oponkwatun, Director, Crime Check Foundation. Thank you for sharing those views with us. And I want to get your final word, Madam Rodlin, because I haven't come to you. Really, I realized you were reacting a lot, especially when we're showing the images from the prisons that we've been to.
It's really sad. Like human beings will be packed like sardines. You're breathing somebody's toes. It's really sad. And for me, I'd like to say that we have to appeal to our judges also. Some of the judgments that they give, is such that you ask yourself, why should somebody, a young person, go and steal just a bunch, maybe of bananas or plantain, and you get 10 years? I mean, please. So we need a form of non-custodial sentencing. I also think that as it stands now, we should be able to use the prisoners. A labor force within there is not a crime. If they can farm to feed themselves, if we can get, there are some people who are very good tailors in there. They can start sewing, even for government organizations, as a form of contracts. They can organize them into groups to be useful to society and to themselves, and also to earn money. Of course, they should be paid. They need to be compensated for doing all those kinds of things. So I would rather say that we should look at them as another force that can be beneficial to society, and not just throw them away as if they're criminals, yes, but something triggered it, and I believe that, like Nanaya was saying, our social setup is such that anyone can fall prey to this. And so we shouldn't look at them. prison is a correctional institution. You understand? It does, but you see, our young people go in there. If they go in there with maybe certificates, they come out with PhDs in crime. Because as you go in there, it's a survivor. So you learn new tricks. You learn all sorts of things. And this is something that we must look at. So I'm very happy. And I would say congratulations to His Excellency President Mahama and to the NDC for this, at least 5 cities, though it's not enough. But moving it from 1 city, 80 pesos to 5 cities is something, it's more than 100%, like you're saying. So I don't know why we should send people to jail and then feed them for free. They should be able to feed themselves. Like Mr. Ibrahim said, they have land. Why can't they farm? You know,
another side of looking at it as a business.
Yes, they can farm. This government's in Kukonketenkete policy, why can't we send it there also? Let them look after their chickens, feed themselves with the eggs, and you know, we can do so much. If we use them, it would be good. And I think that even when you're walking around, people will tell that when they send you to Nsawam even for 2 hours, you come back a changed person. You get me? So you don't need that number of years.
Yes.
You don't. If you even go in there for 4 weeks, you come out and you don't want to go in there.
Again, yeah.
And so maybe also we should organize, you know, some form of excursions for our political leaders. Occasionally, let them go into the prison just for a few hours.
Is that in the US?
Yes, go into the prisons for a few hours just to see how they are. Maybe when the stench and everything hits them, they will know that maybe if they bring me here, it won't do. It will stop corruption somehow also, and all that, you know. But I think that generally we have not managed our prison system well.
We have not managed our prison systems well. We'll have to end it here on that note. Thank you very much, Madam Rodelyn Ayana, public interest activist, as well as to you, Mr. Ibrahim Oponkwatin, Director, Crime Check Foundation. You joined us via video call. To you as well, Madam Nanaya Ajantwa, presidential staffer. And earlier we had as well Sahadatu Ali Halid, who is with the Gender Equality and Social Inclusion Unit of the Africa Education Watch. Thank you so much for joining us on this discussion. Well, it's here again at the 14th Ghana Economic Forum, Ghana's most influential platform for economic dialogue and policy action. Join us on Tuesday, the 28th of October, 2025 at the Kempinski Hotel, Gold Coast City, Accra, as over 300 leaders from government, business, diplomacy and development gather under the theme Currency Stability, a reset for sustainable economic growth. This year's forum will feature powerful plenary sessions on strengthening the economy and finance, unlocking energy and renewable solutions, and of course, transforming agriculture and its value chains. Expect bold conversations, actionable strategies, and high-level networking that will shape Ghana's industrial future. The Ghana Economic Forum 2025 is powered by the Business and Financial Times with support from our valued partners and sponsors, Bank of Ghana, Fidelity Bank, KPMG Ghana, Arthur Energy, Advisors, Olam Agri, the Bank Hospital, Metro TV, Asasi Radio, TV3, Joy FM, City FM, Channel 1 TV, Happy FM. Don't miss out on this defining national conversation. Remember that for partnership and sponsorship, you can always call 0244 699521 or 0209 457 427 or visit GhanaEconomicForum.com. The 14th Ghana Economic Forum, where Ghana's future takes shape. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll bring you some more.